I want to tell you about an episode of the Jetsons that I saw once. My dog was put down the other day, and I want to tell you an episode of this very infamous Hanna-Barbera show that was very similar to what I had experienced. I was in my room, playing on my Psy. The year was 2009. My dog was put down the other day, and it was summer vacation, and after summer I would be in 7th grade. I was so fixated on my Psy, my mom told me it was almost midnight, and that I had to go to bed. We only lived in a 2-bedroom house as a result of the Great Recession a year earlier, and my 9-year-old brother had to sleep in my room, and I always used to wear headphones while playing quietly. We had to keep the TV on boomerang so he could sleep. He liked the Jetsons, and I loved it. I saw the Jetsons intro playing. The title card was different. This was a Season 2 episode of the Jetsons, and they had more maturity than previous seasons. I remember everything, with even my thoughts revolving in my head. The title card read, Elroy says goodbye to Astro. There was no picture, it was only words. The screen faded to the Jetsons' house. The sky was green, like a tornado would hit. The house was the same house like in the cartoon. I kept watching, I couldn't sleep anyway. It cut to Elroy softly crying in his room. He never cried in Season 2. I did research. Elroy, Astro, why do you have to go? Asterisk hit asterisk, we were best friends. Asterisk hit asterisk, I was surprised that this type of show was talking about pets dying. Anyway, Elroy's parents were talking in the kitchen about Astro. Jane Jetson, it's sad we have to put him down today. I just didn't want anything to happen to him when we're on vacation to Las Vegas. George Jetson, you've told me this so many times, I wanna scream. What about Elroy? Jane Jetson, well, he'll be sad. But we had to do this anyway, he does have a kidney failure, you know. George Jetson, what I hate is that he keeps going up into the bathroom. Jane Jetson, he's lost it, George. He can't help it. George Jetson, I know, Jane. I'm mostly concentrated on Elroy. I wonder how he's doing. I'll go check on him. George walks into the playroom where we see that Elroy is crying and Astro sleeping. George Jetson walks over to Elroy. Elroy, Dad, asterisk hit asterisk, why does Astro need to go to sleep? George Jetson, he is sick, Elroy. When we go, Grandma will babysit you and Judy. Elroy, I'm not staying here. Astro is my friend. He can't die without me there beside him. I didn't believe it. Elroy was never like this in these episodes. George Jetson, do you really want to be there? Elroy, yes. I don't care if I get scared, I love him. George Jetson, okay Elroy, calm down and stop screaming. I hope you know this is too grown up for you. Do you understand? Elroy, yes Dad. George Jetson, okay, let's get in the car. I was speechless. I watched the rest anyway. It showed Grandma Jetson going into the house, and Elroy, Jane, George, and Astro in the car. George drove. This was silent and boring. After 12 seconds of driving in the car, Elroy had a flashback. It showed Elroy with a Season 1 animation. He was with Astro, and Elroy looked happy. Elroy, I love you, Astro. You're the best. Astro, I love you. As Elroy pets Astro, Astro licks Elroy in return for love. The screen fades to white, and Elroy, his parents, and Astro were in a blue room with a red couch. Astro has a band around one of his paws. As the doctor walked in, the camera cuts to the door. Doctor, hello you guys, I heard that Astro had a kidney failure. First, we will give Astro saline. Then, we will give him the medicine that makes him pass away. Elroy, no. He's not dying. George Jetson, Elroy, cut it out. I told you that we have to do this. Elroy, I'm not letting him go. Jane, Elroy, stop it now. Listen to your father. Elroy, okay, let him die, like I don't care. Asterisk size asterisk, I watched in horror as the saline was injected. Doctor, here's the shot that puts him to sleep. The second injection was worse. I was scared about this, cartoon or not. Elroy lost it. He was crying uncontrollably at Astro soon to be death. The doctor checked him with her stethoscope. Doctor, he's gone. That was quick. Jane, George, and especially Elroy were all crying. Elroy, sobbing heavily, "You were my best friend, Astro." The screen faded to white, and this wasn't a flashback. Elroy was with Astro in a white room with no walls. The room turned dark. Suddenly, Astro faded into nothing. Elroy, Astro. Asterisk, where is he? Asterisk, he? Escom. Asterisk, Elroy started to walk in a straight motion. However, this scene looked more like a Bill Melendez cartoon when compared to the show's regular animation. This went on for a minute, with violin music playing in the background. This stopped when Elroy was pale and was almost skeleton thin. "Elroy," says raspy and dry Astro. The screen faded to Astro on a cloud, sleeping. A soft heavenly voice chuckled. The screen faded to black, with Elroy crying in the background. It faded back, with Elroy in a hospital. He was pale and looked like he was going to die. "Jane, Elroy, you are too young to die, you're only 7. Elroy was 7 now? Well, it looked like Astro died 3 years ago. "George Jetson, we love you, no matter what. Elroy, I know. I will see Astro soon. Judy, Elroy, I love you. Elroy, I..." Breathed heavily. "Jane, Elroy?" Elroy, "Yes, Mom." "Jane, you were adopted." Elroy, "What, Mom?" "Jane adopted." Sobs. "George Jetson, we adopted you from an orphanage. You were a baby born with cancer. We couldn't bear to see you suffer without parents, so we adopted you. Elroy, thank you." Elroy closed his eyes and stopped breathing. George, Jane, and Judy were all crying extremely hard. I actually felt sorry for him. The episode ended with a shot of them crying. The credits rolled silently and they weren't then fun to watch either. It was just white text in Comic Sans scrolling on a black background. I only recognized the names of half of the people in the credits. The other half were people that I had never heard of. The copyright date was 1998, the year that Season 2 came out. The screen turned to static. I watched the static until it stopped after 4 minutes. The regular schedule came on after the episode. The next day, I woke up and heard my brother had strep throat. My dad had to stay home from work that day. I spent the day, with my dad's permission, to go on the computer and contact Boomerang about it. Remember that it was 2009, so I contacted Cartoon Network and Turner Broadcasting System as well. Cartoon Network bought Boomerang in 1995. All three didn't know what I was talking about, sadly. I gave up and returned to my normal summer routine. I'm still scared of that Jetsons episode, but not as much as before. I did some research on the Jetsons as well, but now I don't because I gave up. Well, that about sums it up. If you've ever seen this episode before, let me know.